The most important conversation that we're going to have is what can you automate, what should you automate, and what should you not automate. So let's take a look at what you can automate first. Now this is a big list, but this is actually what I am automating as of December 2014. So I automate a lot of the back-end administrative and content tasks that simply don't require my hands on. They can be done by someone else. Now, one of the easiest ways to automate this is to delegate it. And so if you have a colleague, if you have a team member or a virtual assistant, these are things that you can give to them. And what I'm going to show you is how to even automate that process in delegating things. So the number one thing that I'm going to show you how to do is how to automate your social media posting. But there are other things like sharing files with colleagues, anything that is a recurring process that you do over and over again, even if it's just once a month, you can automate. We create a content library here with a very simple automation process that we're not directly involved in whatsoever. And I'll show you how we do that. Creating a blog post. Now, this is not something that I recommend that you do on a regular basis, but for certain instances, creating a blog post automatically makes a lot of sense. And I have clients, our social media service clients, who are on the road 50 weeks a year. They do not have time, nor do their team, to write a blog post. And so we have come up with some really innovative and exclusive ways that you are not going to see anywhere else for how to automatically create content for your blog. And again, I'll be showing you that. You can automatically shorten URLs for new content. You can get reminders via text message. In fact, I got an automatic reminder today of this bonus webinar on my phone. One of my favorite things to do is to dictate my to-do list into my phone, and it's saved to Evernote. I have my contacts added automatically to email marketing lists so that I don't have to do that, and neither does my VA. And I have actually tasked my virtual assistant with becoming an expert in this process, because the more things that we can take off of her plate, the more productive things that she can do, which means that frees up my time. If you ever survey people on what they want from you, you can save their responses automatically to a spreadsheet. If you use any kind of project management tool, you can create new projects. I do this as well, and I'm going to show you how I do that. Every time I get a new Twitter follower, I save the follower's name, bio, and follower count into a spreadsheet. And so that shows me who my followers are, who has the most followers, and what they do. I can send tasks automatically to a virtual assistant, and I can add content using a few keystrokes. And that's actually one of my favorites, because anything that you type over and over again, you can actually assign that to a few keystrokes, and it creates a nice shortcut for you. Now, the apps that I use for automation are a lot. I don't want you to feel like this is an overwhelming list. I'm going to explain each one of these briefly and tell you what they do, and then I'll be giving you a little bit of a tour of each and how I use them. Hootsuite and Sprout Social are both social media posting automation tools that allow you to post to one social network and have it go to others as well. You can also schedule posts with those, but these two tools take a little bit of a different approach. Buffer is also an app that people use for that. TweetDeck, I mean, there's a whole bunch of them out there. Evernote is a note-taking tool, and far more than that. I did a blog post last week on some of my favorite productivity tools, and I explained why I like Evernote in there. I'm not going to have time today to go through and demo everything, but if you have not tried Evernote, I highly recommend it. I use WordPress to automate a lot of the stuff I do, Dropbox, which is a file sharing application. Text Expander is one of my favorite apps, and it is a browser-based app. So you download it onto your computer, and it will type in things that you have to type often every day, like your email signature, a link that you have to do a lot, any kind of repetitive content that and for customer support we use this a lot because some of our responses are the same over and over again. And so I'm going to show you how I use that. Bitly is a great URL shortener. And then all these social networks, Vimeo, which is for video, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram, you can automate posting to all of these. Now, that does not mean that I recommend that you always post via automation. What I recommend is that you decide which is going to be your main social network and write your post for that, and then you can automate some of the others. For example, my main social network is Facebook, and then I automate the post to the others. Pinvolve is an app that I use solely to post to Pinterest. IFT stands for if then that, and it is an automation app. That's all it does. If there's a task that you do online, it's very likely that IFT can automate it. If not, then another automation app called Zapier can automate it for you. And I will be demonstrating both of those. And then the last one I use is Trello, which is a project management tool. And I can automate projects for those. So that's a little bit about the type of tasks that you can automate and what my favorite apps are for automation. Now, what are some of the things that you should not automate? Not that you can't automate, but what you shouldn't automate, because you can set up a process for almost anything. But you should not automate your secret sauce, and that's your personal touch. Social media listening, posting on social media isn't going to do you any good if you don't respond to people if they have a question. So you need to make sure that you are in social media every day responding to people. Engagement, when people are liking and commenting and sharing, you need to thank them for that and encourage them to do that. Customer support, absolutely not. That is one of the most important things you will ever do. And the same thing with content creation. Your content is your secret sauce, and you want to make sure that you do not outsource or automate your content creation to somebody who doesn't know your brand. Also, anything that needs a critical analysis, like the social media measurement, you need to be able to analyze your analytics when it comes to social media, traffic, financials, and you need to be the one doing that. You don't ever want to automate that or outsource it. And again, content creation, that's something that takes a critical eye, and you don't want to automate that. All right, so now that we've looked at what you can automate, let's look at how you can automate some of these things.